From the shining domicile that is Pittsburgh Comics, my old mannered comic shop owner, Colin McMahon, transforms into the world's greatest comic book talking TV host. Join us, true believers, for Comics Now!
Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for June 2021. Normally we film these on a day when the dogs aren't here, but this morning we're filming with the dogs here, so you might hear the little click-clack of nails on the floor. So that, just to explain what that is. But thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. We have a lot of stuff going on in June. Summer's here, and the publishers always love their big summer events and always like to have their big blowouts because they feel nobody's doing anything in the summer and they have plenty of time to read. So lots going on in the new comics. Lots going on here at the store. We've been really crushing restocking the back issues. We've had to take over the tables with just the regular back issue boxes. So if you're looking for something, come on in. Also, all my overstock that's down in the basement is finally alphabetized. So if there's something you're looking for, please ask, because we can find this stuff much easier than it was before. So we're really working on that, getting lots of stuff out. Boxes are full. The display cases, the wall behind me, all new stuff on it. We're trying to change that up a lot. So lots of neat stuff. Lots of fancy special issues, first appearances, all sorts of neat stuff. So come in, look around. Getting the graphic novels are getting tweaked again. We're making sure we're stocked on those with multiple distributors now we have to go through to get the books, but that's okay. Working hard to keep that stuff going. So because the restrictions are lifting, I'm able to have more people in the store. Things are going to be a little better, especially this summer. It seems to be loosening up, so we're going to be able to do more events at the store. Free Comic Book Day is moved to August. It's the middle of August, and we'll be promoting that a lot later. But I'll be able to do more sale type things and stuff here that I've been kind of resistant to do when we shouldn't have a lot of people crowded in. Won't have crowds, but we'll have more events and more things going on here. So stay tuned, keep an eye on the website or Facebook or Twitter where I promote everything. So because Marvel has the biggest event of the summer going on, we're going to start with them. Heroes Reborn is wrapping up. We're getting the last 3 issues are coming out in June. And so the way they've been doing them is most of them have kind of been one-shots focusing on different members of Squadron Supreme. So we're getting a story on Nighthawk and a story on Power Princess, and then wrapping up in issue 7. Together they ended the Kree-Skrull War, defeated Dr. Doom in his secret war, and endured their own civil war between Hyperion and Nighthawk. But now the Squadron Supreme of America faces their greatest challenge yet, a mysterious new group of troublemakers called the Avengers. And then Heroes Return, which is an epic, oversized slugfest between the Squadron Supreme and an otherworldly group of Avengers for the final fate of the whacked-out world of Heroes Reborn. And we still have a couple one-shots that are going to be filtering in before it wraps up. We have Heroes Reborn American Knights. Backed by the Squadron Supreme, Commissioner Cage thinks he's bulletproof. He's dead wrong, and it'll take a saint to prove it. Someone is cleaning up criminals who've escaped justice and leaving a bloody trail in their wake. This is the Squadron's world, and the age of vigilantes is over. Police Commissioner Luke Cage has one job: find the scum and eliminate them before ambition takes them beyond the city streets. Also have Heroes Reborn Night Gwen. By day, Gwendolyn Stacy is Ravencroft Asylum's leading psychiatrist. But by night, she dons the guise of the vigilante known as Nightbird. But how did this happen? Why did this happen? And what does Kyle Richmond, the Nighthawk, have to do with it? There may not be time to find out, because Nightbird must hunt down a new killer called the Jackal. We have Heroes Reborn Marvel Double Action, kind of in the theme of the old 70s Marvel books. A tale from the Squadron's past. Years ago, Nighthawk and his trusted partner, the Falcon, patrolled the streets of Washington, D.C. from vile criminals that lurked in the dark. But all that changed one fateful night. Representing for the first time ever the night Sam Wilson died. Heroes Reborn Squadron Savage. Elektra leads a team of the world's deadliest heroes and villains, with all of reality hanging in the balance. There are some threats that require a more savage approach than the Squadron Supreme of America can offer. For those missions, the Department of Defense has put together a team consisting of Elektra, the Punisher, Crossbones, Cloak and the enigmatic Murder Hornet. They must fight their way through a team of superpowered terrorists known as the Redeemers if they don't kill one another first. Prepare for twists, turns, double crosses, and action aplenty. And then the last one is Heroes Reborn, Weapon X and Final Flight #1. They're the best there is at what they do. In a world without Avengers, the Squadron Supreme protects and defends the interest of America. But where does that leave a country like Canada? The Great White North is now a wasteland. Their forests are scorched, the provinces annexed, their people barely surviving. Who will stand up and protect them from the supremacy of the Squadron? Weapon X and the Final Flight. That's who. Now, they also have an event. This was supposed to be last summer, but it got delayed due to the shutdown and everything. It's called Infinite Destinies, and it's playing in with the Infinity Stones and how that's changed everything. The greatest power in the universe has reinvented itself. The Infinity Stones will be revealed in Infinite Destinies as iconic and new characters clash, setting up Infinity Score in Black Cat and the destruction or reinvention of the Marvel Universe after that. We have Iron Man Annual. It's Iron Man versus Quantum. When Iron Man learns about the strange people who kidnapped and tortured Miles Morales, he has to look into it. What he finds out about the Assessor and especially Quantum will shock him and you. Don't miss this in-depth look at some of the coolest new villains and the groundwork laid for major future Marvel stories. Captain America Annual #1, Captain America versus Overtime. The fugitive known as Overtime broke out of death row when the Time Stone chose to bond with his soul, giving him powers he barely understood. Now, thanks to Captain America, his time is up. And we have Black Cat Annual, which is the main story is going to be in Black Cat. Felicia Hardy's vacation is interrupted when a layover in South Korea turns into an insane caper. This caper is a deadly journey across Seoul where she comes face to face with Takuji, White Fox, and Tiger Division. And then the big thing that they have going on is the Hellfire Gala. This is running through all the X books, and it's a big celebration on Krakoa, leading to the revelation of the new X-Men team who's there to protect Krakoa. So it's, the big book spinning out of this is Planet-Sized X-Men #1. Jerry Duggan and Pepe Larraz. They came to slay. The Hellfire Gala rages on, but bigger things are afoot a world away. Make no mistake. This is an X-Men book drawn by superstar artist Pepe Larraz. It is absolutely the most important issue of the month. And then we get into the gala, which is Marauders 21, written by Jerry Duggan and Chris Claremont. Welcome to the Hellfire Gala. The Hellfire Trading Company has put together the biggest event of the season, the very first Hellfire Gala. Everyone will be there. All your favorite mutants, their closest allies, even their worst enemies. For a night of dinner, drinks, diplomacy, and deceit. Fireworks to follow. Plus, from the archives, a classic X-Men tale with our very first look at a Hellfire Gala by Chris Claremont and John Bolton. Then going into X-Force 20, invite only to the Hellfire Gala. It's party time, but somebody's got to work it. And when the invited guests and a few crashers prove to be planted antagonistic agents, X-Force will need to get their hands dirty and keep this all under wraps before anyone catches wind. Hellions. Who invited the Hellions to the Hellfire Gala? Who thought it was a good idea to invite the antisocial Hellions to the fanciest bash of the year? Oh, no one. They weren't invited, but they showed up anyway. Yeah, that sounds about right. Excalibur. Richter hates parties, even the nice ones. And with Captain Britain's return to a changed world, this one is looking to be not so nice. Excalibur's earth-shattering Hellfire Gala issue will change Krakoan diplomacy forever. And X-Men, the Heroes of Krakoa debut. It's a changing of the guard as the first X-Men of Krakoa debuts. One era ends and a new one begins, and the handoff happens here. And then New Mutants, and I'll cry if I want to. The Hellfire Gala is here, and the New Mutants have a chance to take a break from training the youth of Krakoa. An opportunity to get dressed up and get down. But not everyone is on their best behavior, and someone has vanished without a trace. And then the big one is going to be an X Factor, The Last Dance. At the Hellfire Gala, secrets will be revealed, vengeance will be had, and someone's number is up. You'll never guess whose. And then June is Pride Month, and both companies, Marvel and DC, are doing special Pride books. Marvel is doing Marvel Voices, celebrating the LGBTQ plus characters and creators with a rainbow-powered special. Marvel Comics is proud to present its first ever queer-centered anthology. Ring in Pride Month with an amazing assembly of writers and artists from all walks of life. Wiccan and Hulkling, Iceman, Mystique and Destiny, Karma, Akiro, Nico Maru, and Carolina Dean. Celebrate these and so many more legendary characters from across the Marvel archive. New and fan favorite creators tell their pride stories. Stories of inspiration and empowerment, stories that illustrate the world outside your window in full color. Plus, some of Marvel's biggest LGBTQ plus moments get a special reprinting. Don't miss an extraordinary new chapter in Marvel history. A new book, this is by Al Ewing, Gamma Flight #1. This is spinning out of Immortal Hulk. Bruce Banner's Gamma-powered allies go on the run. Gamma Flight had one job, find and stop the Hulk. But when push came to smash, they sided with the Green Goliath, and the human world intends to make them regret it. Puck, Absorbing Man, Titania, Doc Sasquatch, Dr. Charlene McGowan, and a horribly changed Rick Jones are fugitive from every known authority. But a team full of Gamma is bound to break before long. Then we have United States of Captain America. The shield has been stolen. No one understands the value of the shield like those who've wielded it. So Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson set out on a road trip across America to chase down the thief. But instead, they find the captains, everyday people from all walks of life who've taken up the mantle of Captain America to defend their communities. And for some reason, the shield thief wants them all dead. Can Sam and Steve get to them first? Basically, this is celebrating Captain America's 80th anniversary with kind of a travel across the country looking at the impact of Captain America. Demon Days, Mariko. This is continuing. Peach Momoko is doing a series of one-shots, kind of retelling the story of the X-Men in kind of a Japanese style. Mariko Yoshida hears mysterious voices and has strange dreams that feel real. Her red-headed maid who dresses all in black might know more than she lets on. What is the connection between Mariko, the creatures of Oni, and Kurosaki Mountain? Find out in the next installment of this tale of magic, monsters, and Marvel characters like you've never seen them before. Amazing Spider-Man is starting a big new story arc. Chameleon Conspiracy. So it's kicking off in Spider-Man 67. In the wake of King's Ransom, Spidey's journey takes a big turn. The revelation of giant-sized Amazing Spider-Man's King's Ransom was huge, but you don't understand half of what it actually means. But you should know that the Chameleon is making his biggest play ever as the Chameleon Conspiracy begins. And then it wraps up in a giant-size Amazing Spider-Man Chameleon Conspiracy. Iron Man 9 is a neat story. The origin of Korvac. He's an old character from the 70s in the Avengers, and they're bringing him back. After discovering the strange new sensation of self-doubt, Korvac and his crew take a detour in deep space to search for an unlikely ally. But conversion can often be difficult, and soon Korvac is left wondering if he'll ever have any followers born from faith rather than fear. And Star Wars has a big event. We've been getting a lot of prelude issues to the War of the Bounty Hunters, and we're finally getting the main series is starting this month. At war for the greatest prize of all, Han Solo, the hunt begins. Nobody steals from Boba Fett. The notorious bounty hunter will not stop until he gets what's rightfully his. For the thief, no corner of the galaxy is safe. Good thing for them, the Rebel Alliance, the Empire, and every bounty hunter in the galaxy is standing in Boba's way. With the last page reveal that will blow this Death Star-sized story wide open, issue 1 is just the beginning. Only one hunter will be left standing, and the Star Wars galaxy will never be the same. So those are the biggies from Marvel. Now we'll move on to DC Comics. They started a few months ago. We got the Infinite Frontier Zero issue, which spun out of Dark Knight's Death Metal, kind of resetting the entire universe. So this is coming in following that. So we have Infinite Frontier #1, written by Josh Williamson. When our heroes saved the multiverse from Perpetua in Dark Knight's Death Metal, everything was put back where it belonged. And we do mean everything. All the damage from all the crises was undone, and heroes long thought gone returned from whatever exile they had been in. Most of them, at least. Alan Scott, the Green Lantern from the Justice Society of America, has noticed that some of his allies are still missing in action, and he's determined to find them. There are others, though, who would rather remain hidden than explain themselves. Like Roy Harper, a.k.a. Arsenal, a man who should be dead, but now is not. Plus, what does all this mean for DCU's place in the multiverse? On opposite sides of a dimensional divide, both Barry Allen and President Superman ponder this question, not to mention the dark side of all, or a team of multiversal heroes called the Justice Incarnate. Then we have an Infinite Frontier Secret Files one-shot, which is going to give you the lowdown on all these characters that are going to be involved in this. We have a new Supergirl book, Supergirl World of Tomorrow by Tom King and Bilquis Evely. Kara Zor-El has seen some epic adventures over the years, but finds her life without meaning or purpose. Here she is, a young woman who saw her planet destroyed and was sent to Earth to protect a baby cousin who ended up not needing her. What was it all for? Wherever she goes, people only see her through the lens of Superman's fame. But just when Supergirl thinks she's had enough of everything changes. An alien girl seeks her out for a vicious mission. Her world has been destroyed and the bad guys responsible are still out there. She wants revenge, and if Supergirl doesn't help her, she'll do it herself, whatever the cost. Now a Kryptonian, a dog, and an angry, heartbroken child head out into space on a journey that will shake them to the very core. They have the DC Pride one-shot. DC celebrates Pride Month with 9 all-new stories starring fan-favorite LGBTQIA plus characters Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Midnighter, Extraño, Batwoman, Aqualad, Alan Scott, Obsidian, Future State Flash, Renee Montoya, Pied Piper, and many more. This anthology will also feature the thrilling introduction of a new hero, Dreamer. We have Crush and Lobo #1, a miniseries. In case anyone was wondering, Crush is doing just fine, actually. Sure, she recently walked away from her classmates at the Roy Harper Titans Academy and effectively quit being a Teen Titan in a blaze of glory. And okay, her relationship with her too-good-to-be-true girlfriend Katie is kind of on the rocks, if you want to get all technical about it. Oh, and she recently found out Lobo's in space jail, but that's cool because he's the worst. Okay, maybe Crush has some stuff, but that doesn't mean she's going to do anything about it. Like actually go into space and confront her dad and all her problems because everything is fine, right? Then we have a new Batman miniseries, Reptilian. This is by Garth Ennis and Liam Sharp. What strikes fear into the hearts of those who terrorize Gotham? It used to be Batman. But something far more frightening than a mere man stalks the shadows, and it's after Gotham's villains. How savage must a monster be to haunt the dreams of monsters? Pick up this dark and bone-chilling tale by comics legend Garth Ennis and Liam Sharp to find out. And they're also bringing back Batman: The Adventures Continue, a season 2. This is based on the animated series. Gotham City is changing. After Mayor Hill is killed by a mysterious assailant, Batman finds himself tracking down an ancient order that's long been buried under the streets of Gotham, the Court of Owls. But what does this group have to gain from the death of Mayor Hill? And how can Deadman help this Dark Knight? Checkmate is back. Seems like forever ago, but there was Event Leviathan by Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev. And someone has taken over all the intelligence agencies in the DCU and wiped them out, and it kind of left us hanging because it just stopped before the pandemic and everything. So it's back with Checkmate #1. The dark forces of Leviathan have torn through the DC universe, and now no one can be trusted. No one, not even the person writing to you about this book. That's why you find out in Justice League 63 that Green Arrow has been secretly funding a group called Checkmate, because not even the Justice League can be trusted. The mysterious Mr. King has helped Green Arrow assemble the greatest team of super spies the world has ever seen. Lois Lane, The Question, Robin, Steve Trevor, Manhunter, Bones, and Talia al Ghul will have to outsmart the smartest people in the world before they destroy everything. Plus, a new mystery character is tiptoeing through the shadows. They call him the Demon Rose, and he is hunting Lois Lane right under Superman's nose. We're getting a Green Arrow 80th anniversary 100-page special, where they're going to do the different covers from each decade, and it's going to be just a collection of stories about Green Arrow and all of his sidekicks from Black Canary, Connor Hawk, Arsenal, Red Arrow, Speedy, and more. They're getting back to the horror books, too. We're getting, James Tynion is doing one called Nice House on the Lake, a 12-parter. Everyone who is invited to the house knows Walter. Well, they know him a little anyway. Some met him in childhood, some met him months ago, and Walter's always been a little off. But after the hardest year of their lives, nobody was going to turn down Walter's invitation to an astonishingly beautiful house in the woods, overlooking an enormous sylvan lake. It's beautiful, it's opulent, it's private, so a week of putting up with Walter's weird little schemes and nicknames in exchange for the vacation of a lifetime? Why not? All of them were at that moment in their lives when they could feel themselves pulling away from their other friends. Wouldn't a chance to reconnect be nice? And then we're getting some annuals. Action Comics has an annual, getting back to the House of L storyline from Future State. Catwoman is doing one about Father Valley. Father Valley's a mystery. His unusual style as a hitman, his habit of keeping a Bible designated for each of his targets, his macabre and particular method of elegant savagery, his insistence on waiting until his target has reached their highest point before he strikes them down. These are all strange and enigmatic traits that have remained unexplained until now. bear witness to Father Valley's past with the Order of St. Dumas and his unexpected connection with Azrael to learn the method of his madness, and see once and for all why Catwoman should be deathly afraid of being on his hit list. Flash is getting an annual finishing up the Surge storyline. Teen Titans is getting a yearbook #1, looking at some of the origins of some of the new characters. And we're getting a Wonder Woman Black and Gold anniversary special in line with the Batman Black and White and the Superman Red and Blue, giving artists an opportunity to tell their short little Wonder Woman stories for her 80th anniversary. Now, moving on to the rest of the guys, we have Image Comics. They had a real big hit TV show just this month, Jupiter's Legacy, Mark Miller's story. And he's coming back to it to kind of wrap up the story. And we're getting Jupiter's Legacy Requiem, a 12-parter. The next chapter of the global phenomenon begins here. Chloe and Hutch have gotten married and had more children. The superheroes are working in harmony with humanity and creating a perfect world. But all is not well in the Garden of Eden as the Sampson family gets ripped apart and all the secrets of the Netflix show's mysterious island will be revealed. Spawn is getting a one-shot leading into a whole bunch of stuff. It's Spawn Universe #1, the official introduction to the long-awaited Spawn universe. A double-sized issue that begins a storyline so huge that 3 new Spawn-related monthly titles will spin out of it, including Gunslinger Spawn Monthly, and a new team book, bringing a handful of these characters together in their own book. With this one-shot, the world of Spawn changes forever. New heroes, new villains, and more importantly, new titles. Compass #1 is a new one. I think the idea is by Greg Rucka, but he's not actually writing it. But Shahada El Hameen is many things: scholar, cartographer, astronomer, mathematician, scientist, explorer, adventurer, and when need be, two-fisted fighter. Setting out from Baghdad's legendary House of Wisdom during the Islamic Golden Age, Shahi's quest brings her to 13th century Britain, where the Welsh are whispered to possess the secret of eternal life. But Shahi's not the only one after it. We also have 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton #1. The world's most unkillable action star has been found dead, and his previous TV sidekicks are looking to solve the mystery. But how can you catch a murderer when almost everyone hated the victim? Now these sidekicks are going to learn what it means to be the star of the show. That is, if any of them survive the Stuntman War. We also have Vinyl #1 from the creators of Plastic, which was a really bizarre, fun little story a few years back. Unsettling tale of psychopath, sweet love, and a serial killer named Walter. When Walter's best friend, the FBI agent charged with his capture, is kidnapped by a death cult of all-female sunflower farmers, Walter finds himself deep within an underground labyrinth filled with secrets and monsters, but are the monsters more horrific than his? Dark Horse is bringing us back Norse Mythology #2, or Volume 2, by Neil Gaiman and P. Craig Russell, adapting his book of the history and all the Norse mythology. Black Hammer is back with Black Hammer Reborn. It's a new ongoing from Jeff Lemire. The Eisner Award-winning superhero saga returns in this ongoing series, picking up 20 years later. It's 20 years later, and Lucy and the world have moved on. Living in the suburbs of Spiral City, Lucy is married and has children. But all is not blissful. Her marriage is falling apart, her job has reached a dead end, and for mysterious reasons, she hasn't picked up the hammer in years. But as her domestic life begins to crumble, the secrets of the last 20 years and the reason Lucy really gave up being Black Hammer begin to resurface, threatening her family and the peace she has tried hard to find for herself. Worst Dudes, this is by Aubrey Sitterston. The book's so dirty it'll turn your other comics yellow. A dirty cop, a drugged-up backup dancer, an angsty adolescent god. The absolute worst dudes in the galaxy are on a raunch-filled hunt for a missing pop star. It's hilarious, aggressively weird, and willfully vulgar detective story. Parasomnia from Cullen Bunn is a dark fantasy tale of 2 worlds split between dreams and reality. After his son disappears, a broken-down man braves a nightmarish dreamscape in order to find him and battle the ruthless cult that seeks to rule the land of dreams as the barrier between realities starts to collapse. Secret Land. Hitler's dead. Ben and Catherine are supposed to be together and happy. Instead, Ben fights the war in the Pacific with the reckless heroism of one who believes his fiancée killed in action. Yet Catherine lives undercover and about to arrive at the Third Reich's last bastion. Something is waiting for her there, for all of them, and it's hungry. Dynamite is bringing in a new Betty Page book, Betty Page and the Curse of the Banshee. We're getting a couple one-shots. We're getting Red Sonja 1982 and Vampirella in 1992, and they're both going to be set in those time frames in the world of comics. Boom Studios has a couple new ones as well. We have Good Luck #1. What if luck was quantifiable and something everyone was born with? Everyone except the unfortunates. Teenagers born with absolute zero luck. Now, with the world mysteriously plunged into chaos and reality itself threatened, they will be our only hope to save the world. Our last hope is those with no chance of success. The only thing anyone can wish them is good luck. Basilisk #1, another Cullen Bunn book. Who can stop the Chimera? 5 individuals bound by a cult-like hive mind, they terrorize small towns with their horrifying supernatural sense-based powers, leaving death and destruction in their wake. Reagan, one of the Chimera, escaped and has been hiding with her murderous eyes bound, overcome with guilt, until now, when a victim from her past forces her to hunt down the other 4 of her kind. And they also have Save Yourself #1. What if magical girls weren't Earth's champions at all? Ao, Thel, and Jen, better known as the Lovely Trio, first burst onto the scene 5 years ago when they saved Earth from the surprise space monster attack. Since then, everyone, including Gigi, whose brother died as a bystander in the Lovely Trio battle, idolizes them as superheroic pop icons. But when Gigi witnesses the Lovely Trio's battling a monster firsthand, she sees something that causes her to question everything she thought she ever knew about the heroes. Ablaze is giving us one. Space Pirate Captain Harlock. This is going to be a free comic book day book, too. Earth is threatened by an upcoming invasion by the Sylvedres, and despite being banished as a pirate, Captain Harlock won't give up trying to save the world. This time, the source of danger comes directly from Earth, not outer space. Aftershock has a couple. Out of Body. This is by Peter Milligan. When Dan Collins wakes up to find his life hanging by a thread, he must use his astral projection to discover who tried to kill him. Who is the beautiful mystic who tries to help him? Why does August Frine want Dan's soul? And what does it have to do with a demon who seems to be Dorian Gray? A weird occult detective thriller about life, death, and whatever lies in between. Bunny Mask. This one's supposed to be really big. Paul Tobin and Andrea Moody. Sealed in a cave before the dawn of man, released by a crazed madman, Bunny Mask walks our world once more. But for what dark purpose does she use her unnatural powers? And what's her connection to Bea Foster, a young girl murdered by her father 14 years ago? In order to save his life and his sanity, one man will have to discover the truth of what waits behind the masks. 7 Swords. A weary and jaded D'Artagnan is drawn into final conflict with the wicked Cardinal Richelieu, whose ruthless quest for power has led him to the supernatural. But the last musketeer can't defeat these infernal enemies alone. To save the world, he'll need to join forces with 7 iconic swashbuckling heroes. Don Juan, Captain Blood, Cyrano de Bergerac, to name a few. 7 swords who must overcome their host of differences to work together if they want any hope of thwarting Richelieu's diabolical plans. AWA gives us Moth by J. Michael Straczynski, tying into his Resistance world. Black Mask has one called Everfrost. Van Louise retired to the Ice Coast so she could quietly find a way off planet from a world on the wrong side of societal collapse. So she biohacks a dead Leviathan to orchestrate passage away into the universe. But her plans are about to get chewed up by a mounting war between warlords. And lastly, Vault has a new one called Barbaric. Owen, the barbarian, has been cursed to do good with what remains of his life. His bloodthirsty weapon, Axe, has become his moral compass with a drinking problem. Together they wander the realm, foredoomed to help any who seek assistance. But there is one thing Owen hates more than life with rules: witches. Welcome to the skull-cracking, blood-spattering, mayhem-loving comic, brave enough to ask, how could a man sworn to do good, do so much violence? So, thanks for watching. As always, you can reach me at the store, pittsburghcomics.com. Facebook is Pittsburgh Comics, Twitter and Instagram are PGH Comics. So, thanks for watching. See ya.